What is the Millionaire Choice?
And originally, I had a different name for the book, but it ended up becoming the Millionaire Choice. And the beginning of the book is really when I started down this road, it's really about empowering people to realize that life can be different. That's what the choice is all about. Our lives are where we end up. We can't really control what we're born into, but we have 100% control over where we end up for most of us. Now, for some people, it is more difficult. That you just got to admit that. Like if you grow up in a drug-infested family, or parents that have a lot of drug addiction or alcoholism, that is a more difficult place to come from than even where I came from. So you have to acknowledge those challenges. But I'm going to tell you, there are people that do it. Like they make the choice, they live differently. I've got a friend, JV Crum III. He was 5 years old when he made his millionaire choice. The reason he made his millionaire choice, his choice to be wealthy instead of broke, was because his mother would not let him buy candy bars in the grocery store and told him not to ask for one because she did not want to be embarrassed by telling him no. And she didn't want people to think they were poor. So little 5-year-old JV goes home and goes, what is wrong with this problem? Why can't I have a candy bar? There's a problem here. How are we going to solve this problem? And he goes, I know. When I grow up, I'm going to be rich. And he started telling his mom and dad that. I'm going to be rich when I grow up. Of course, most people will dismiss that because it's an excuse. It's almost like our excuse for like living life the way we are. Like, how dare you, little kid, you little 5-year-old? Yeah, that's cute. Go ahead and dream. But face reality. 25 years old, JV Crum was a millionaire. So 20 years later, from age 5 to age 25, I've got another friend, Jeremy Newsom, amazing guy. Started stock investing when he was 6 years old after watching Forrest Gump with his dad. And he heard Forrest Gump talk about Captain Dan. I'm going to see if I can do my best Forrest Gump impression here for you, Paul. Captain Dan, he bought this fruit, and we no longer have to worry about money. And so little Jeremy looked up at his dad. He says, Dad, what's he talking about? Like, we're worried about money in this house all the time. Why is he not worried about money? He's talking about fruit. And what is that? So his dad told him, said, Jeremy, he's talking about Apple computers, and that's supposed to be in everybody's house in the future. And Jeremy tells his dad, says, Dad, I think we should buy some Apple stock. 6 years old. His dad goes, oh, Jeremy, that's just make-believe. That's just movies. It's just make-believe. Jeremy goes, no, Dad, I think we really should buy some Apple stock. So his dad says, Jeremy, you go find some money. I'll tell you what, you find some money and I'll match you. I'll match you whatever you come up with. Jeremy goes out, starts climbing the fences, picking blackberries. Starts taking blackberries around by the pints, knocking on doors, selling blackberries to the neighborhood. Comes back. I don't know how much after that conversation happened. Told his dad, said, Dad, I got some money. I'm ready to buy some stock. His dad goes, how much you got? Jeremy goes, I've got $1,500. 6 years old with $1,500 in his pocket from selling blackberries to neighborhood kids and neighborhood families. His dad goes, oh crap, I don't have $1,500. So he calls his brother up, says, I need to borrow some money. So they bought $3,000 in Apple stock. This is like 1996. That stock matured to $12,000, and his dad sold it. So today, now that was a good investment, right? You turned $3,000 into $12,000, great investment. But today that would be worth approximately $34 million. So Jeremy's first investment had the potential of becoming $34 million. Now Jeremy teaches people personal finance, how to do options trading, stock trading, things like that. And he's got his own island in the British Virgin Islands, and he's 34 years old. So that's the stories that are out there all over the place. So the reason I tell those stories, and I encourage people to do the Millionaire Choice, is because I want everybody to know that the people that become millionaires are no different than you. They're no different than any of your listeners. They're just getting into the jet stream. They're making different choices. They're making different decisions, and they get there. And Paul, you know this as well as I do. One of the things I find, you asked about the choice. The choice is really about shifting your mindset, because most people are stuck with no financial vision for their life. And that's what I find when I coach people, is the reason they're stuck is because they don't know how to create a vision for their life that gives them a different future from where they are today. So they keep doing the same thing over and over. I call it like the financial gerbil wheel, where you go to work and you go home and spend it. You go to work, you go home and spend it. You go to work, you go home and spend it. And you never go anywhere else. And that's what I was doing at 25. I was doing the same thing until I made that millionaire choice, where I'm going, you know what? This is bad. I need to shift. And then I learned a little bit. I call it getting money smart. I got a little money smart, and not real smart, just enough, right, to get moving in a different direction. And then when you start moving in that direction, that different direction, you make that choice. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to be, have a super high IQ. You just got to get going in the right direction and then let things take their course over time. And that's the principle. That's the opening of the Millionaire Choice. That's the premise behind the beginning of the book. And then I get into the principles, the character, the steps, the things you got to do to actually go from making that choice to what I call is creating that plan and then executing your plan, which I believe it's possible to predict when you're going to become a millionaire plus or minus 1 year, so that you can actually be there. And that's what I did. I said, 25, I think I could be a millionaire by age 40. Let me do that. I was able to do it. It didn't happen exactly like I planned, but it did happen. And that's the cool thing about it. Like, you don't have to have it all figured out. You just got to get going in the right direction and just, stay faithful to that goal and keep moving forward.